today I'm going to be talking about the conservation of coral reefs, what you can do about it, and then why it is happening. So, when you swim alongside a sea turtle while hearing whales call and communicate to each other, you quickly fall in love with this part of the world. And when I mean this part of the world, I mean underwater. And I've also been living my whole life on the coast, so I've had like a pre-existing connection to the water my whole life. And it doesn't take long for someone to notice that I love the ocean. I love anything that has to do with the ocean. I love wakeboarding, surfing, swimming, going anywhere that has water. And I love scuba diving. It's one of my favorite. And I've scuba dove off almost every coast that I've been to. And while I was scuba diving, I found that the foundation of the health in our water in our ocean is actually coral, because they house fish which are at the bottom of the food chain, which creates like a domino effect to the next fish and to the next fish, when then it ultimately affects us we're on the top of the food chain. And coral reefs not only homes to fish, but they also play a role in protecting our coasts. So if you remember Florence 2 years ago or a year ago, this is the erosion that happened from it, and the coral actually protected it, and it actually minimized the erosion, and it could have been way worse. And so all reefs help recycle nutrients, and after 6 months I've actually owned a saltwater fish tank, and if you don't have the right nutrient balance in it, the water gets green and algaic, and it's really hard to see and let natural light in. And so a healthy reef ecosystem provides a purification of water and air, which is key to the survival of the ocean. And it also, they make beautiful sights, so they're really good for tourists like scuba diving and fishing. So what exactly is a coral reef? So coral reefs are often referred to as the rainforest in the sea, and they are large structures made out of the invertebrate skeletons called coral, and they house fish in and around them. So actually a large amount of creatures rely on coral. Up to 25% of fish solely rely on coral to live. And in a study shown in Hawaii, on one single reef, there were 7,000 different species of creatures in one coral reef. Okay, so close your eyes and imagine a coral reef. You see lots of different fish, a triggerfish, an angelfish, and maybe a sea turtle or an eel. My personal favorite is called the Uma Nuku Nuku Apua'a, which is up on the screen. It's the Hawaii state fish. And you see a wide variety of life and colors in your mind, correct? Well, unfortunately, many of the coral reefs now look like this, and this is what you see. It's called coral bleaching, and this is caused by increased water temperatures and carbon dioxide, the increase in carbon dioxide in our atmosphere. And these factors make calification hard for the coral, which in turn, what they do to protect themselves is they bleach themselves, and when they bleach themselves, they start starving, and they will soon die after that. And between 2014 and 2017, there was a massive coral bleaching event due to El Nino, and it actually bleached 70% of coral in the ocean, which is really devastating. And there's some very large-scale changes need to take place to save our coral reefs. So pollution from pesticides and sewage and runoff needs to be prevented, and then regulations need to be established for overfishing, and dangerous boating and dive practices need to be limited. And so the global lowering of our carbon footprint is critical to the future of our coral reefs. So consuming less fossil fuels, conserving rainforests, and also making renewable energy. And so things you can do to make it, and because those are really big problems, and we can also do little things to help protect our coral reefs. So if someone litters, you need to pick it up for them, or if you litter, pick up your litter. Conserve the water, use less water, which means less runoff. And also anchor in a sandy area and not near the shoreline. And then the most important is never bring home coral as a souvenir. In fact, don't even touch it, because you might actually pass on diseases onto it, or viruses, and it could also harm it from the lotions and oils on your skin from sunscreen. And most sunscreens contain a chemical called oxynate or oxybenzol, which causes coral bleaching. And so when choosing a sunscreen, look for the barrier type of sunscreen that uses zinc oxide or titanium oxide. And lotions are better than aerosol sprays usually. And many people use brands like Hawaiian Tropic, Coppertone, Alba, and Banana Boat, which are actually not reef safe, but sunscreens on screen like Sunbum, Blue Lizard, Think Sport, and Kula are completely reef safe and are really good for the environment. And so the protection of our world's coral reef is imperative to the health of our ocean. And so it seems like a big thing to save the world and like save this coral reefs, and it seems really big and too big for us, but in fact we can do like really small things to help save them.